Good afternoon. It's Thursday the 29th of June and we're live in London for the launch of the Top 100 Apprenticeship Employers 2023. I'm Martin Birchall from High Flyers Research.
And I'm Shanice Evans, a journalist and former presenter from the BBC. Between us, we'll be counting down the country's top apprenticeship employers for you this afternoon.
Along the way, I'll be talking to the Minister for Skills, Apprenticeships and Higher Education.
And I'll be meeting apprentices who are working on some of the nation's top apprenticeship programmes.
And we'll be speaking to several of this year's top apprenticeship employers.
Now, wherever you're watching today's broadcast from, whether you're one of the hundreds of employers around the country that entered this year's rankings,
or if you're an apprentice already working hard on your apprenticeship,
or you're a teacher or careers advisor,
or maybe you're a student at school or college thinking about your future career options,
you're all very welcome, and we're really glad that you've been able to join us today.
Now let's start by explaining how the new rankings have been compiled.
They're based on the latest data about England's apprenticeship employers, so there's no voting and no judging process to determine the results. Entries opened during the National Apprenticeship Week in February, and employers were asked to provide 3 key pieces of data.
The first of these is the number of apprentices who started an apprenticeship during the past year. The second is the diversity of those new apprentices, and the third is the number of apprentices who successfully achieved an apprenticeship during the year by completing all of the requirements of their apprenticeship and passing the endpoint assessment, versus the number of apprentices who withdrew for an apprenticeship over the past 12 months. It's a very simple equation. The more new starts you have, the more diverse your apprentices are, and the more apprentices who successfully achieve their apprenticeships, the higher your score will be.
All the data was independently verified and scored and then weighted according to the size of the employer's workforce. From this, the final rankings were confirmed.
There are 2 entry categories: the top 100 apprenticeship employers for employers with more than 250 employees and a minimum of 25 apprentices, and the top 50 small and medium-sized apprenticeship employers for SME employers with between 10 and 249 employees and a minimum of 3 apprentices.
So, the both top 100 and top 50 SMEs are a real celebration of the commitment that the country's leading employers have made to employing apprentices in 2023.
We're really grateful that today's launch is being supported by Investors in People, Ucas and the University of Nottingham.
Now, before we get underway with the first of today's countdown, earlier this week, Martin went to the House of Commons to speak to Jillian Keegan, Secretary of State for Education.
Secretary of State, thank you very much for joining us. We've had over 800 entries this year for the top 100 apprenticeship employers and top 50 SME apprenticeship employers. You must be delighted that so many of the country's top employers are putting themselves forward to be recognised for all the work they're doing with apprenticeships.
I am, and I thank them very much for what they're doing. They're making a great success of apprenticeships, and I think that's up from 500 last year, so that's a very big increase in 1 year. More and more people are talking now about apprenticeships to get into almost any career route, apprenticeships at any level, apprenticeships to avoid the student debt and go straight into a degree apprenticeship or a professional qualification. More and more people are looking at them on Ucas and exploring what the possibilities are. So it's brilliant to see the employers responding to that. It's brilliant to see all the work that they're doing. As you know, I was an apprentice myself. I'm the only degree apprentice in the House of Commons. So as you can imagine, I am passionate about apprenticeships, particularly those higher level ones. And all of these employers are offering such a fantastic range. I think it's 20 different sectors and a fantastic range of opportunities for lots of people.
But the latest official data does show that although the number of new starts for apprenticeships has begun to increase over the last 12 months, it's still well below pre-COVID levels, and it's about a third lower than it was before the most recent apprenticeship reforms in 2017. Are you worried that this is a lack of interest from would-be apprentices or just not enough opportunities from employers?
No, not at all. When I was the Skills and Apprenticeship Minister, we looked very carefully at the quality of apprenticeships, and I'm determined that any business that takes an apprentice knows that they're going to get really high quality. Somebody who's very keen, who's eager to learn, but it's a really high quality training. And unfortunately, at the very beginning of the programme, that wasn't always the case. So what we did is we chose quality over quantity. It was a deliberate choice. And it's a choice so that not only the employers can have confidence that the standard is actually going to produce somebody with all the skills that they need, but also the person who's taking the apprenticeship, the apprentice themselves. They know if they decide to do a level 4 in cybersecurity, at the end of it, they'll be able to get fantastic job and career in cybersecurity. So it was a deliberate choice. Obviously, the pandemic also made it a little bit difficult. There was a lot of uncertainty for employers during the pandemic, depending on the sector. It was either closed or it was working double time. It was very uneven. So we know we've got a bit of recovery from that. But what I am confident in is that the apprenticeship system will continue to grow because it offers brilliant opportunity for young people and for anybody looking to retrain later, and fantastic skills and talents that are entirely matched to what your business needs if you're an employer.
So we've moved away from a higher volume and, as you say, towards a higher quality. But one of the issues that remains is not everybody's completing their apprenticeship, are they? So only around half of those are successfully achieving the apprenticeship they set out on. What do you think we need to be doing to improve those figures?
Well, having done an apprenticeship when I was younger, and I often say to the team, everywhere where I grew up in Liverpool, pretty much everybody was trying to get an apprenticeship. Apprenticeship was actually the golden ticket. Everybody wanted a high quality apprenticeship. And I never knew anybody who didn't complete their apprenticeship. They were so highly sought that people always completed them. So I was a bit bemused, to be honest, at the apprentice, the completion rates. And what I've said to the team is there's something that's not logical about that. So the team have started to look at various things. For example, sometimes we had the endpoint assessment, which wasn't aligned with the qualification or the professional qualification. So we're looking to make sure that it works much more seamlessly so that we really do have a high completion rate. We're putting a lot of investment into apprenticeships as our businesses across the country and other employers. And we want to make sure that people complete. Now, sometimes there are good reasons. People get promoted. They're so good, they're so quick that they get promoted very quickly. However, if there are any issues, we'll work with anybody to make sure that we fix those so that everybody gets to complete their apprenticeship and to celebrate all the hard work that they've got. And in future, the currency for an apprenticeship is really going to be growing and growing and growing. So you'll want to make sure that you completed it so you can tell everybody that, like I'm very proud of now, that I'm an apprentice.
So, Secretary of State, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, for sharing your thoughts. Much appreciated.
So there we are. That means it's time for us to begin our journey through this year's Top 100 Apprenticeship Employers.
We start the countdown at number 100 with the Department for Education. It's one of 2 major government departments in the new rankings. 1 in 15 of the DfE's 8,200 employees are apprentices, and it offers programmes at all levels of apprenticeships.
We head to the water sector with the Pennon Group at number 99. Its South West Water, Bristol Water and Bournemouth Water companies serve 1.8 million customers in Cornwall, Devon, Dorset and Somerset. More than 240 of its 3,000 employees are on apprenticeships from level 2 to level 6.
At 98, the Vertu Motors Group is one of the country's largest motor retailers, with over 160 franchise dealerships nationwide. Over the past year, it's recruited over 200 new apprentices to work as technicians, customer service advisors, accounts assistants and parts advisors.
At 97, HC1 offers professional residential, nursing and specialist dementia care for older people in over 300 care homes across the UK. It has over 600 apprentices on programmes in areas including care, hospitality, IT and leadership.
Capita is at number 96. It's an international consulting, digital services and software business with over 30,000 employees in the UK. It offers apprenticeships at every level, including the Level 3 Business Associate Apprenticeship and Digital and Technology Degree Apprenticeships.
The NatWest Group is the first of just 2 major banking and finance employers in this year's Top 100 at number 95. It offers apprenticeships in customer service, relationship management, digital technology and data, and specialist and support roles from levels 2 to 7.
At 94, Cross Country Trains is the first of 7 apprenticeship employers from the transport sector in the new Top 100. Part of the Aviva Group, Cross Country Trains provides rail services from Aberdeen to Penzance, and more than 160 of its 1,800 employees are currently on apprenticeships.
LabCorp is at number 93. It's an international pharmaceutical development and laboratory testing business with 160 apprentices at its sites in England on programmes from level 2 to level 7.
Surrey Police is at number 92. It's taken on more than 190 new recruits over the past year for the 3-year Level 6 Police Constable degree apprenticeship. They're employed as police officers from day one and are paid an annual salary of £29,600.
At number 91, Balfour Beatty is an international infrastructure and construction company. More than 500 of its 12,000 employees in the UK are on apprenticeships including civil and mechanical engineering, quantity surveying, electrician, procurement and health and safety.
At 90, Motors Commercials is the UK's largest independent commercial vehicle dealer. It employs more than 80 apprentices at its truck and van dealerships across the country, working in sales, service and parts.
The Crown Prosecution Service works with the police and the courts to prosecute criminal cases and bring criminals to justice. It's at number 89 in the new Top 100, and currently more than 200 of its 7,000 employees are on apprenticeship programmes.
We've 2 employers now from the steel sector. At number 88, the William Hare Group is an international steel fabrication company with its headquarters in Bury in Greater Manchester. It offers advanced, higher and degree apprenticeships in structural design engineering, fabrication, maintenance, quantity surveying and IT.
At 87, the Staffordshire-based KMF Group is one of the country's largest sheet metal engineering and fabrication companies. It offers Level 2 and Level 3 apprenticeships in different disciplines, including engineering and technology and fabrication and welding.
Gemini Accident Repair Centres are at number 86. Its motor repair workshops employ more than 60 apprentices around the country on the accident repair technician or the vehicle damage assessor apprenticeships.
At 85, it's E.E. Smith Contracts, the specialist interior fit-out contractor based in Leicester. With a long history of training apprentice joiners and cabinet makers, 70 of its 110 current factory workers are former apprentices.
The John Lewis Partnership is at number 84. Across its department stores and Waitrose supermarkets, over 900 of its employees are on 20 different apprenticeship schemes.
At number 83, it's our first employer from the house building sector. Barratt Developments has more than 360 apprentices on its entry-level trade and commercial and technical programmes, and higher and degree apprenticeships in construction, quantity surveying and real estate.
Wigan Council is at number 82 and is the only local council to be ranked in this year's Top 100. A total of 270 of its 5,200 employees are currently on apprenticeship programmes, with opportunities available at every level from 2 to 7.
KPMG is at number 81. It's the first of the Big Four accounting and professional services firms in the new Top 100 and recruits around 200 apprentices annually for audit, business services, consulting, law and technology roles.
One place ahead, and we've our first employer with more than 1,000 apprentices. The Mighty Group is a leading facilities management and professional services company and offers apprenticeships from level 2 to 7 for new and existing employees.
Essex-based Kids Inc. Nurseries is the first of 5 employers from the childcare sector to be featured in the new Top 100. It has more than 30 apprentices at its 11 nurseries in the southeast of England, working on the early years practitioner and educator apprenticeships.
At number 78, it's DIY and home improvement retailer B&Q. It offers more than 30 different apprenticeship programs at every level from 2 to 7, including customer service, team leader, property management, supply chain, digital marketing, and cyber security.
It's time for our first visit to the food and drink industry at number 77. McDonald's employs 900 apprentices across the country, and over 200 started the company's Level 2 hospitality team member apprenticeship in the past year.
And at number 76, McGinley provides workforce solutions for the infrastructure sector, offering jobs for construction office and site workers. It's recruited over 60 apprentices for its Level 2 apprenticeship programs over the past year. So that's our first 25 employers in the new Top 100.
So, our countdown is underway. Congratulations to all of the employers who have been ranked so far. Let's find out more about the company at 84 and the difference that offering apprenticeships makes to staff. Martin?
Thanks very much, Shanice. I'm pleased to be joined by Kira Tom. She's the Head of Learning, Inclusion and Belonging at the John Lewis Partnership. Kira, firstly, well done on being ranked in this year's Top 100.
Thank you.
I think you heard when we were describing your ranking, over 900 apprentices across the business. Tell us what a difference it makes in terms of having apprenticeships for John Lewis.
We're huge, passionate advocates of apprenticeships. What we see is a diversity of thought, the opportunity for people to really move through the organisation and to really develop their skills. It's something that makes our business really special, and we're so glad that it's something that we can offer to so many people.
Now, you're a shining example of how businesses are using apprenticeships to reskill and develop your existing employees. Almost all of your 900 apprentices are on programmes that have been created specifically for partners within the business. Is that a key strategy in terms of how you develop people?
Yeah, it's a really great unlocker of internal mobility. We offer nearly 28 live schemes at the moment, from artificial intelligence to butchery and fishmonger skills. And I think what it does is give people lots of different ways that they can build their capability and to really enhance the business. So yeah, it's a really important part of our progression strategy.
And are they popular with the staff? Are people competing to get a place on an apprenticeship? Are you able to keep up with the demand?
I think in some areas we're really, really popular. So Data and Insight is an apprenticeship we recently launched, and hundreds of people wanted to be part of it. So we see some real key skills that are part of our future strategy that people want to be part of. What we've got is a brilliant progressions team who manage all of the different requirements and thankfully who manage to keep on top of all of the things we're doing.
And how do you manage having such a significant number of staff off on training days and college and all of the off-the-job training that they do?
Yeah, and definitely that sort of 20% thing is one of the things that we find challenging, and we know we have to keep an eye on. So it's about making sure that we create space, that people managers are there to support their people to succeed and to really find the opportunity for them to have some time to learn. It's not always easy, but we know how important it is. So we're really passionate about making it happen.
And how do the staff cope with juggling both working and studying, given the pressures of being in a busy retail environment?
I think it depends which day of the week you speak to them. I think, as partners get close to endpoint assessment, it becomes really important for them to have space and time to do it and to be able to succeed. So yeah, I think along the journey, there's definitely moments where things can feel a bit more stressful.
Now, one of the things we're talking about across the programme today is, at the moment, there's still nationally a relatively low completion rate, successful achievement rate for apprenticeships. How much of a challenge is it to get your staff, your apprentices, through to the endpoint assessment to make sure they make the most of doing the apprenticeship?
Yeah, so this year we've seen about 64% of our partners succeed, which I think is amazing, well above the average, I'm led to understand. I think it's just about making sure they feel supported, that they feel engaged. It's not simple creating your portfolio, logging all your stuff can be quite detailed. It's just about making sure that they feel that they've got people to reach out to for support and that they feel at all times that we've got their back.
And do a lot of your apprentices then go on to more apprenticeships to continue with their development? Does it lead to promotions? What's in it for them?
Yeah, we've seen some really great progression stats of people who've been promoted. Of the 3,500 live learners we've had since 2017, nearly a third of them have been promoted. So it's something quite fantastic to see. So yeah, there's loads in it for people, but actually it's not just about the promotion or the kind of personal development. It's expanding skills, building relationships, and understanding more about the business that we operate in.
Well, that's fantastic. It sounds like it's really having benefits for the John Lewis Partnership. Kira Tom from John Lewis, thank you very much for joining us on today's programme.
We'll be hearing lots more from other top apprenticeship employers later in the programme, but we'd also love to hear from you during the afternoon. So if you're excited to be in the new rankings or have a question about the new Top 100, please do get in touch using the hashtag #TopAppsEmployers. Now, before our next countdown, Martin is going to explain some of the research behind the new Top 100.
Thanks, Shanice. Now, at the beginning of the programme, we explained that the Top 100 is a data-driven league table. So let's take a look at what we know about the country's top apprenticeship employers and how the new Top 100 rankings have been compiled. Let's start with the industries and business sectors that the Top 100 employers are from. There are more than 20 different sectors represented within the new rankings, with professional services making up the largest group, followed by public sector employers and health and social care providers. Across the top 100, there are 7 organisations with more than 50,000 employees, but a quarter of employers have a workforce of 1,000 staff or fewer. So this isn't a league table just for the country's biggest employers. That's because the rankings take into consideration the proportion of an employer's workforce that are on apprenticeships. At 1 in 3 of the top 100 employers, apprentices make up 5% of employees or less. But at a fifth of organisations, 1 in 6 of their employees are apprentices. On this chart, the bars represent the number of apprentices employed by each of the top 100 employers. Although several of the employers on the left-hand side have over 1,000 apprentices, I've picked out 2 on the right-hand side who have fewer than 100 apprentices. But when we look at those same employers according to the size of their staff and the percentage of apprentices within their organisation, they have some of the highest percentages. The top 100 rankings are based on 3 key pieces of data. The first of which is the number of new starts at employers in the past 12 months. There are 9 employers who've had more than 1,000 new starts. A quarter had up to 500 new apprentices, but the largest group were employers who recorded between 25 and 100 new starts in the last year. In the year from April 22 until March 23, over 43,000 new apprenticeships were started at top 100 employers. More than a third of these were level 2 intermediate apprenticeships, a slightly smaller proportion were level 3 advanced apprenticeships, but the largest group this year were apprenticeships at level 4 or above. 1 in 5 were either a degree or master's level apprenticeship at levels 6 or 7. Now, the armed forces had the largest number of apprenticeships that started during the past year. There were over 5,500 new starts in professional services and more than 4,500 in retail. It was interesting to see how apprentices arrived onto their programmes. It's easy to assume that most would be new recruits who joined in order to do an apprenticeship, but across the top 100 employers, almost half of those who started an apprenticeship were existing employees, and only 1 in 20 were progressing from an earlier apprenticeship. The second aspect assessed by the top 100 apprenticeship employers is the diversity of apprentices who started those new apprenticeships over the past year. On average, 62% of apprentices are men, 38% are women, 1 in 5 are black, Asian or minority ethnic apprentices, just over half are aged 16 to 24, and 11% have a learning difficulty and/or a disability. And finally, we examined the number of apprentices who successfully achieved their apprenticeships over the past year by completing all of the requirements of their apprenticeships and passing the endpoint assessment. This success figure was then set against the level of withdrawals from the employer's apprenticeship programmes. At 7 employers, more than 500 apprentices successfully achieved their apprenticeships in the last year, whereas at 2/5 of employers, up to 100 apprentices achieved their apprenticeships. Now, it's interesting just to compare how these figures look over the past 12 months. So whilst there were more than 43,000 new starts at top 100 apprenticeship employers, the total number of apprentices who successfully achieved their apprenticeships was almost half that level, and over 11,000 apprentices withdrew from their apprenticeships. So there we are. That completes our brief look at the data behind the new top 100 rankings. Speaking of which, I think it's time we find out who else is on our list of the nation's top apprenticeship employers. We return to the countdown at number 75 with Avon and Somerset Police, the second of 5 police forces ranked in this year's top 100. 1 in 10 of the force's 6,000 staff are on apprenticeships, and the force recruits around 250 police constable degree apprentices annually.
At number 74, Choice Care provides specialist residential care and supported living services for people with learning disabilities, autism, mental health conditions and associated complex needs. Its main entry-level programme is the Level 2 Health and Social Care Apprenticeship.
Unilever is at number 73. It's one of the world's best-known consumer goods companies, with over 400 global brands like Persil, Ben & Jerry's, Hellmann's, Dove and Domestos. It has apprenticeships in business and technology, engineering and manufacturing, and research and development.
Based in the Cabinet Office, the Government Security Group brings together 600 security professionals tackling cyber, physical, personnel and technical security across the government. Its apprenticeships include Level 4 and degree apprenticeships in cybersecurity.
Not to be confused with the car manufacturer with the same name, Rolls-Royce is a British multinational aerospace and defence company. More than 600 of its 18,500 employees are apprentices, working on 20 different apprenticeships including nuclear engineering, supply chain, quality management and finance.
At number 70, Iceland Foods is a well-known high street and home delivery retailer that employs more than 750 apprentices. Its Level 3 and Level 4 retail apprenticeships provide a pathway to becoming a store manager.
We stay with the retail sector at number 69 for Screwfix. It's a retailer of trade tools with over 800 stores nationwide and more than 500 apprentices, including those on trade supplier, retail team leader and customer service apprenticeships.
Better known to commuters as South Eastern, SE Trains Limited is at number 68. It operates train services between London, Kent and East Sussex and has over 300 apprentices working in engineering, business and customer service roles.
We're off to the northwest of England for the nuclear decommissioning company Sellafield Limited at number 67. It has 600 apprentices at its sites in Cumbria and Warrington, working on 20 different apprenticeship schemes.
We return to policing at number 66, this time for Sussex Police. The South of England force has recruited over 270 apprentices in the past year and offers apprenticeships at Level 4 for police community support officers and Level 6 degree apprenticeships for police constables.
At number 65, we have the first of 4 NHS employers in this year's Top 100. The North East Ambulance Service had more than 140 apprentices start a new apprenticeship over the past year.
At 64, Red Row Homes has built more than 100,000 new homes in its near 50-year history, from garden villages to urban luxury apartments. It's a long-standing apprenticeship employer with over 200 trade, technical and commercial apprentices.
Babcock International is the second of 4 major engineering and industrial employers in this year's Top 100. There are over 800 apprentices at the company, which delivers complex engineering services for the defence, emergency services and nuclear sectors.
At number 62, we're back on the beat for Thames Valley Police. It has more than 500 apprentices on police constable, community support officer, contact management centre and staff apprenticeships.
Number 61 takes us to the technology sector. The ANS Group provides cloud, integrated systems and networking solutions. It recruits around 50 apprentices each year for its Level 3 Information Communication Technician apprenticeship.
At 60, the Lloyds Banking Group is the financial services group behind Lloyds Bank, Halifax, Bank of Scotland and Scottish Widows. It offers apprenticeships in a wide range of roles from financial services to digital technology and currently employs 900 apprentices.
Retail giant Tesco is at number 59. It's our second employer in this year's Top 100 with more than 1,000 apprentices and offers programmes from Level 2 to degree apprenticeships for both existing employees and new recruits.
At 58, Sheffield Forge Masters is one of the country's best-known names in steelmaking and a committed apprenticeship employer. Around 1 in 10 of its 600 employees are currently on apprenticeships with opportunities in production, maintenance, technical and central services.
Network Rail is at number 57. It owns, operates and develops Britain's railway infrastructure and is a major apprenticeship employer with more than 1,600 apprentices working on engineering, IT and business services and finance programmes.
At 56, it's the Transport UK Group, formerly Abellio Transport Holdings. It's the company that runs train services in Merseyside, the Midlands and East Anglia, as well as bus routes in London. It employs over 600 apprentices across its operations.
We return to the NHS for the Leeds Teaching Hospitals NHS Trust at number 55. It has more than 900 apprentices working across the trust in roles such as clinical healthcare, nursing, dental nursing and business administration.
At 54, we move to a different part of the healthcare sector with CareTech. It provides modern residential care for children, young people and adults with special and complex needs through a range of supported living schemes. Over 1,000 of its employees are apprentices.
And one place ahead, we're staying with healthcare. Rysdale Estates operates nursing homes at 4 sites in South Cumbria. Over 70 of its staff are on apprenticeship programmes from Level 2 to Level 6.
The London ambulance service is at number 52 in the new Top 100. Its 5,000 frontline control room and support staff include over 700 apprentices on programmes from level 2 up to level 7.
And at number 51, we're back in the childcare sector with N Family Club. It has 30 nurseries in London, the home counties, the West Midlands and the East of England. It offers up to 20 different apprenticeships, from early years practitioner to a range of front of house, catering and office roles. Let's recap on our second 25 employers in this year's Top 100. So that's our next 25 employers revealed. Well done to everyone who's made the rankings.
Martin has been out and about to visit an inspiring apprenticeship employer who we've just confirmed is at number 58 in the new Top 100.
I've travelled to Sheffield in South Yorkshire to one of the world's oldest steel makers. Sheffield Forge Masters has been producing steel on a large site in North Sheffield for more than 200 years. Almost 1 in 10 of its workforce are on apprenticeships, and I'm here to meet 3 apprentices who've recently started their careers at the company.
I'm Peter Bates and I'm an apprentice metallurgist in the forge. I've always had an interest in engineering, so when I left school I went to Sheffield College and studied engineering level 3 BTEC, and then I thought, where's the best place to take my passion for engineering? Everyone in Sheffield knows the steel industry. And if you say steel to someone from Sheffield, they'll think of Forge Masters first.
Peter ruled out doing a conventional degree after college.
I decided not to go to university for the debt. And obviously when you leave university, there's not a guarantee you're going to go straight into a job. Whereas doing an apprenticeship, it's the free degree, 3 years work experience, and it's a guaranteed job for me when I finish.
Peter is in the first year of his Material Science Technologist degree apprenticeship and is alternating between working on site and studying at Sheffield Hallam University.
I've just been getting to grips with how everything works at Sheffield Forge Masters, all the processes, all our customers, all the things we produce. And as you're aware, there's over 500 people who work here, so meeting a lot of new faces.
So what does a metallurgist do?
Metallurgy is basically the study of metals. Customers, when they require a certain product with a certain properties, you need to make sure that metal goes through the correct treatment to meet those properties in terms of toughness, strength, grain size. Obviously, it's a lot to take on a full-time job and a degree at the same time. But I feel like at work, they've given me the right balance between spending time on my job tasks and then also studying as well.
I'm Owen Story and I'm an apprentice IT technician. I didn't really want to go to college, didn't like the aspect of learning like that, I wanted to be more hands-on. One day, went into the careers office, spoke to them, it landed this interview.
Owen's family were impressed that he was starting an apprenticeship at the company.
I thought I were a pop star, they were like, you work in there? The history of the place is quite phenomenal. Being locally famous just makes that experience that bit better, walking in every day. It's quite a large site, all 7 steel processors are all on one site, which is very rare. You have your melt shop, then it goes off to the foundry or the forge. You're in this building today, work rolls, which is where obviously we do our rolls and where they go off for either paper or metal.
Owen is now halfway through his level 3 IT technician apprenticeship.
I'm based mainly on the service desk. I'll be taking calls, logging calls, obviously dealing with problems as small as I need a new keyboard and mouse all the way up to there might be a network outage. I do 4 days working, 1 day at college on a Wednesday. At college we learn basics of networking, how to function on help desks and how we can troubleshoot stuff.
My name is Bradley Smith and I'm an apprentice product design and development engineer in the R&D department at Sheffield Forge Masters.
Bradley is in the final year of his 5-year degree apprenticeship.
I'm mainly a design person, but I also do simulation. For example, all these work rolls, as you can see around us, go through many processes before they become this finished version. They go through, of course, the melt shop, then forge, and then heat treatment. And our department has to do all simulations to make sure we can get the right size and heat treatment properties to make sure that when we actually do it in live, it'll be accurate and right first time. I would say that it is difficult doing a degree apprenticeship because you've got to balance your work, and that's really hard at this kind of level because you have so much demand. but that is something that I expected, and it went out well. I'm so happy that I've got this apprenticeship because I love this company and what it does. They've been really supportive about it and they really want me to excel.
It's no surprise that Sheffield Forgemasters has such a strong apprenticeship culture because its chief operating officer started his career at the company as an apprentice almost 30 years ago.
The reason why we are 210 years in is because of the skills that are in this business that are not in other global businesses, so that inherent know-how which has to be passed on. The only way you can learn that is by buddying, is by bringing somebody in, you put them with a team of people or with certain individuals, and then they learn them skills, and them years of skills are passed to them in 3 or 4 years' time. And that's why we use that apprenticeship scheme, and why it's been so successful, because you find that the learning through doing and the conditioning of learning through doing is far more easier to part that knowledge on than it is to learn it sometimes sat behind a desk.
This essential knowledge and skills transfer means that apprentices taken on by Sheffield Forgemasters are all treated as permanent employees.
Every apprentice that we put through the 3 or 4 year plans that they're on have got a role to move into. We don't train a number of apprentices and then at the end of their 4 years there might be 10 jobs for 20 apprentices that's graduated. We work in a way that there's 20 jobs for the 20 that graduate.
Apprenticeships are a key part of the company's recruitment and its future workforce planning.
When we set apprentices on, one of the first things we do, we have a parents' evening. So they come down and we take them for a good look around the plant. So when they're sat at home saying, we've just done this or I've just done that, actually then the parent or carers can actually think, right, I saw that, I understand that. I'm a little bit more relaxed about that and how it goes. Parents now actually seek out good apprenticeship schemes. If you're a business that is branded well and looks after its young engineers, then you'll find that. And I think that's why we find we have so many coming in.
Gareth is delighted that Sheffield Forgemasters is a top 100 apprenticeship employer.
To be recognised in the top 100 is something that we should be extremely proud of. It's a testament to the workforce that we've got. It's a testament to the young apprentices that we've had. It's a testament to the region. The amount of apprentices that have been brought in while I've been part of this management team and leadership team is something that I'm very proud of and hope we continue.
Thank you to Sheffield Forgemasters for welcoming us on site. It's really impressive to see how an apprenticeship culture can provide the long-term skills and talents that a company needs to thrive.
And can I just say, Martin, how lovely that video was to watch. It really, really made me smile. But what else is making me smile today? That we've had loads of messages, which is great news. So I'm going to get to reading some of them out. These will make you smile as well, Martin, so be ready. RWT Apprenticeships have said, we're watching the top 100 apprenticeship employers result to see if they've been placed. They're keeping all their fingers crossed.
My lips are sealed.
Yeah, well, Joanna, who is tuning in from Manchester, says the insights into the career opportunities space are really interesting and learning so much throughout the broadcast, and I am too. XC Training Company have said that we're ready and watching. Let's hope for a second year in the top 50 SME employers. And John from Nottingham is loving the show. I'm loving that John is loving the show.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, John. Well, we're going to have a short break now, but when we come back, we'll be hearing from Robert Halpin, the Minister responsible for apprenticeships and skills. We'll see you shortly.
Here at Ucas, we are absolutely passionate about supporting the nearly 1.5 million people who come to explore options with us each and every year. As an independent charity, it's absolutely paramount that we bring parity to apprenticeships alongside traditional routes. We know around half of those 1.5 million are interested in apprenticeships, so it's really important they get engaging, meaningful content around those. That's why we're really excited about the collaboration with the Department for Education and bringing that parity over the coming months. We know we can absolutely help you as employers recruit and retain the very best talent. Look for those skills and experience that you really most need now and in future years. We look forward to working with you in the years ahead.
The University of Nottingham's degree apprenticeship programmes offer vocationally focused academic study at bachelor's and master's level through flexible learning.
The degree apprenticeship provides apprentices the opportunity to develop their technical skills at the same time as expanding their technical knowledge.
By partnering with an institution celebrated for its academic excellence, pioneering research, employability and world-class campuses and facilities, your business will be able to attract, retain and develop top talent.
We see degree apprenticeships as forming a fundamental part to our recruitment strategy. I think we're able to build loyalty and that works both ways in terms of what we provide to individuals and also what they provide to our business.
Welcome back. You're watching a special programme from the Department for Education launching the new Top 100 Apprenticeship Employers for 2023.
Robert Halpin is the Minister for Skills, Apprenticeships and Higher Education, and Martin's been speaking to him about the difference that apprenticeships are making, particularly for small and medium-sized employers.
Minister, thank you very much for joining us for today's launch of the new rankings. The number of small and medium-sized employers entering for this year's rankings has more than doubled. How important are SMEs in terms of supporting apprenticeship provision?
Well, it's incredibly exciting that so many small businesses have entered and are participating and are doing so much to support apprenticeships. I think it's a big thumbs up for apprenticeships. Small businesses are absolutely essential for a number of reasons, because what they can do is they can give actually closer training often and closer support to a apprentice, perhaps even more than a bigger employer can. They're very local, so it means that people can join in their local area. They don't often have to travel as far as they might do for a bigger company.
Now, in terms of how apprenticeships are promoted, they're often pitched as being for young people. They're aimed at those who are perhaps at the very beginning of their careers. But we do know that the latest figures show that at least 47% of those who started an apprenticeship in the past year were over 25. How concerned are you that apprenticeships aren't actually reaching the young people who need them?
Let me give you the other side of that equation. 50% of apprenticeships are under 25, and we need apprenticeships for everyone. So they're incredibly important for people trying to thinking about changing career, trying to get a new skill, especially in the age of AI and the fourth industrial revolution. We're doing everything possible to encourage small businesses to hire young apprentices. So if they have an apprentice from 16 to 18, get all the costs of the training free. That's on top of £1,000 being provided to them and to the provider. And for other businesses, over 50 employers, we pay 95%. The taxpayer pays 95% of the training costs. So we're doing everything possible to incentivise and encourage business. But the crucial point to your question is transforming careers advice. That is how we get more young people to do it. And we're doing a lot of work in schools. We have the Apprenticeship and Skills Knowledge Network going around schools all over the country, promoting apprenticeships, promoting skills. And we're doing a lot of work even in primary school to try and ensure that students, even at that age, have knowledge of the workplace. So what our view is, it isn't just about knowledge, academic knowledge, it's also knowledge of skills and knowledge of the workplace.
And in terms of other skills programs that employers, large and small, could be involved in terms of helping those young people to prepare, what is it?
Well, it's apprenticeships. I mean, we have an incredible array of offerings now, and I really believe we're building an apprenticeship and skills nation. And so we have skills offerings starting at 16 with the new prestigious T levels, 16 T levels at the moment in colleges all over the country. We've got higher technical qualifications as well, levels 4 and level 5 in a whole range of subjects being taught by 70 institutions thus far. It's being expanded as we speak. And by the way, don't forget all these qualifications, whether it's the T levels, the higher technical qualifications, and the apprenticeships are designed by employers. And the reason why that is so important, because if the qualification is designed by the employer, the person who's doing that skill is more likely to get the job afterwards. And we know that over 90% of apprentices who complete get good jobs or good skills or go on to additional education, over 90%.
And just one question from me. You're one of the first ministers to have the brief for both apprenticeships and university. What's the balance between those two?
It's a lot of work, but it's very exciting. And I sort of regard myself as a minister for tertiary education, because what it means is that for too long in our country, we've seen as higher education as one thing and technical education and vocational education the other, and technical education, vocational education was never regarded as having the same prestige. And I was just discussing this the other day. I have the same, the same principles for all my speeches, whether it's HE or whether it's higher education or whether it is apprenticeship skills. It's very simple. It's what are we doing all this for? Get people jobs. It's for skills. Get people skills that they need and our country desperately needs, whether it's in healthcare, whether it's in STEM, whatever it might be. If people get these skills, they get the top of that ladder is job security and prosperity. I've got various rungs of that ladder, including careers starting on the first. But this is all about social justice as well, because we know that you can help and ensure that those people, wherever they come from, whatever their background, whatever their disadvantage in life, if they can do an apprenticeship or a skill or a great HE course, they are on that ladder of opportunity. And as I say, that's jobs, prosperity and security for themselves, their families, and skills that our country needs.
So great to hear from Minister Robert Halpin there, a really powerful advocate for apprenticeships and skills.
Now, at the start of the programme, we said that this year's rankings aren't just about the top 100 apprenticeship employers. We're also looking at the country's leading small and medium-sized employers of apprentices, championing the enormous contribution that SMEs make to apprenticeship employment.
So, let's take a look at the top 50 SME apprenticeship employers for 2023. Together, they employ almost 1,000 apprentices, and more than 1 in 5 of their employees are on apprenticeships.
We're going to take you on a tour around the country to look at which SMEs are ranked between numbers 11 and 50.
So, let's begin in the northwest of England.
Energus, the conference and training centre on the edge of the Lake District, is at number 16.
Events company In Connection is at number 31.
At 37, Davenport's Group is an accounting and printing company based in Bury.
And Manchester-based engineering company JLES is at number 48.
We head over to the northeast of England with Middlesbrough-based engineering company Intellect at number 27.
And Gateshead training company Inner Summit at number 40.
Let's move down to Yorkshire for our next 5 employers.
Contemporary Salons is at number 11.
Hull-based accounting firm Smales Goldie Group is at 18.
And at number 43, we have Children's Corner Childcare.
Halifax company Exceed Hairdressing is at number 45.
And we drop into Huddersfield for engineering company Reliance Precision at number 50.
It's time to visit the East Midlands for Leicester Outdoor Pursuit Centre at number 22.
And 2 places behind them is the Derby law company Sort Legal.
Continuing down the coast, we're into the east of England with the LB Group of Accountants at number 13.
And Norwich's East Anglia Brickwork is at number 33.
Now, there's 3 small and medium-sized employers from the London area in the new top 50 rankings.
HB Accountants are at number 23.
Daniel Galvin's hairdressing salons are at number 36.
And at 49, it's Romford-based construction company ESG.
It's not far to our biggest region for this year's top SME employers.
The South East has 16 apprenticeship employers in the rankings, starting with Metyear's Hair and Beauty Salon in Herne Bay at number 12.
The Rowe Brickwork Company in Margate is at 15.
And residential care company Gemini Response is at number 19.
Hair Lab in Basingstoke is at 20.
And one place behind is composites manufacturer Global Technologies Racing.
The next instalment of our bumper crop of South East employers includes building services company Dark & Taylor in Oxfordshire at number 25.
Just behind them is construction company Lyons and Anute in Margate.
And further along the coast in Poole, Rockley Watersports is at number 28.
Up to High Wycombe now for accounting company Strive X at number 30.
And at 34, it's building services company Payne Manwaring.
We continue our tour of the South East with KJM Hairdressing Salons in Hampshire at number 38.
Then at 39, it's Beech Tree Childcare in West Sussex.
Northampton supported living provider We Support is at number 41.
Just ahead of manufacturing company Southbourne Rubber.
Ignite Sport in Oxford is at number 44.
And at 47, it's construction company Moulton Roofing.
We head west to Cirencester for South Kearney Outdoor at number 17.
Pub Group in Cornwall is at 32.
We're off to Weston-super-Mare for Beauty Oasis Spa at number 35.
Before a trip to see HDC Day Nurseries in Totnes.
Which brings us back to our final region, the West Midlands.
DJH Mitten Clark is at number 14. It's an accounting firm with its head office in Stoke-on-Trent.
And Birmingham manufacturing company Lander Tubular Products is at number 29.
So that's our first look at this year's top 50 SME apprenticeship employers.
Let's find out more about one of the small and medium-sized employers we've just heard about. Martin's been out and about on the road to see the company at number 14 in the new rankings.
I'm off to Stoke-on-Trent in Staffordshire to visit the head office of DJH Mitten Clark, an accounting firm with 6 offices in the West Midlands, the North West and Yorkshire.
DJH Mitten Clark's niche is we like to be your business advisors. So yes, we're accountants and yes, we can do tax returns, so we can do all the bread and butter stuff that we need to do, but we want to be your partner. We've always had apprenticeships as trainees because we've always been a training firm. So we will always continue to nurture that young talent and bring people through the ranks and help them develop in their career.
The company recruits university graduates and school and college leavers as trainee accountants.
There's no reason why you have to go to university to actually become an accountant. You can do, and you can go and get a degree in accountancy. I didn't. That's the path that I chose, and I'm still been able to progress in my career because a lot of the skills that you need as an accountant, we can teach you. So we still put you all through your professional exams so you're qualified, but you get the real world experience at the same time.
I'm Josh Bagnall and I'm an accounts trainee at DJH Mitten Clark. At school, most of the teachers and lecturers and everyone would always say, you know, what unis you're looking to apply to, what's your Ucas score. The only sort of jobs they talk apprenticeship-wise was more blue collar. So, you know, if you wanted to go into construction or jobs like that, they were pushing it a little bit, but it was more of a sort of, if you can't quite make university, here's plan B for you instead.
Josh started a Level 3 accounting apprenticeship in 2020 after completing his A-levels and has since progressed onto a Level 4 apprenticeship.
I think the main adjustment you have to get over when you're doing an apprenticeship is the fact that your friends are at uni, they've got lots of free time, they'll be partying, but that's where you've got to take a step back. You've got to look and go, right, 3 years down the line, they're going to be finished, they'll be looking for a job. You'll have 3 years worth of experience in your pocket, you'll have the money coming in the whole time, and you're surrounded by people that are really going to support you and help you drive on.
Josh is hoping to continue on to a Level 7 apprenticeship and become a fully qualified chartered accountant.
We're quite lucky at DJH Mitten Clark because despite the fact that there is a lot of study to be going alongside your work, we've got a really nice package at work that can just allow us to really focus on it rather than feeling like it's becoming too work, study. You know, we've still got loads of time to get on with our lives, which is great. From starting at 18 all the way through to getting chartered, you're just fully supported, subsidised and assisted. Essentially, you're going from a Level 3 to a Level 7 apprenticeship. And that's not unique to me, that's done across the board, that's, you know, something they offer to everyone.
It makes a huge difference offering apprenticeships because, you know, the school leavers in particular and the college leavers, it's not just a job, it's a career, and they know that they're getting supported, give them great support. And for their parents as well, they know they're coming to a company who cares. High percentage, high 90s I'd say, stay complete, and then in some cases, some of those former apprentices are now leading the team.
My name's Juwaria Ahmed and I'm a trainee auditor.
Juwaria has recently graduated with a degree in accountancy from Keele University.
I think a common misconception at university is that once you've got your degree, you're ready to go into work. I think they forget that you need that practical work experience, which all employers ask for. I realised I didn't have any necessary skills or any experience, so that's where an apprenticeship came into it for me.
Juaria is doing a 3-year Level 7 accountancy apprenticeship at the company.
I never thought an apprenticeship would help me with some of the skills that it's given me. Even things such as the knowledge that I'm gaining now compared to what I was gaining at university. At university, once you learn something, you were learning it to get a certain mark. Here, with an apprenticeship, once you learn something, in a couple of weeks, you're already implementing it. You're going out to a client, you need to do A, B, C, D, and you've just learned how to do it. So you're going to do it right there and then. It's completely different from university.
They always think that we're the grey suit brigade and it's quite a boring job. And some careers advisors go, oh, you like maths, be an accountant. You don't really need to be that good at maths. It's a lot more of conversational skills, talking to clients, sorting out their problems. So the traditional views that people have on accountants, hopefully we are breaking down those barriers and people can see that being an accountant is actually okay.
I think the simplest way to put it for me is taking numbers and sort of making a story out of it and then explaining that story to your clients. There's a lot of sort of problem solving involved, a lot of consulting as well, so giving advice, and it's quite fulfilling when they take on board that solution and they implement it. So contrary to what people believe, it's not just sort of sitting with a calculator behind a desk and just number crunching. There's a lot more to it.
We are so proud to be in the top 50 firms for apprenticeships. We have been working hard at this for many, many years, and this is how we've developed our business model. So we are absolutely delighted that we have made the top 50.
The support and the advice that I've got from DJH Clark has been amazing, so I'm not surprised that we've made it into the top 50, and it just makes me proud to work for them.
Well done to DJH Clark. They're a great example of how apprenticeships can lead to professional qualifications and some real career progression in the world of accounting and finance.
Now, it's back to this year's Top 100 Apprenticeship Employers, so let's take a look at the next 25 employers who are leading the way for apprenticeships. We're into the top half of this year's countdown with Warrington-based Optionist Group. It provides accountancy, tax and employment solutions to contractors and small businesses, and 1 in 6 of the firm's 440 employees are doing apprenticeships.
We stay with accounting and professional services for Creston Reeves at number 49, a firm with 7 offices across London and the South East and 500 staff, a fifth of whom are on apprenticeship programmes.
GXO delivers at number 48. It's an international logistics company with over 30,000 employees at 140 sites across the country. In the past year, more than 760 apprentices have started programmes from entry-level to degree and master's level apprenticeships.
We've another visit to the professional services sector at number 47 with Old Mill Accountants and Financial Advisors. It's a West Country firm that employs over 60 apprentices at its offices in Exeter, Wells, Chippenham and Yeovil.
We're heading to the north of England for Armstrong Watson, the accountants and business and financial advisors at number 46. 1 in 6 of the firm's employees are apprentices on the accounting or tax technician or payroll administrator programmes.
At number 45, Kids Planet Day Nurseries is the third of 5 employers from the childcare sector to feature in the new Top 100. 1 in 10 of its 4,700 employees are apprentices on early years apprenticeships at levels 2, 3 or 5.
Christie's, the world's largest fine art business, is at number 44 in this year's rankings. More than 40 of its employees are on apprenticeship programmes developing their careers in operations, finance and HR.
Our 6th accounting and professional services firm, Azet, is at number 43. It has 3,500 partners and specialists at more than 60 offices across England. 1 in 5 of its employees are apprentices.
At 42, Stagecoach is one of the UK's leading public transport companies, operating bus, coach and tram services. It has over 1,200 apprentices in a variety of roles, from driving and engineering to human resources and learning and development.
The global professional services company Aon is at number 41. In this country, it has 800 apprentices and offers apprenticeship programmes in actuarial work, client management, insurance and reinsurance, investment consulting and employee benefits.
Into the top 40, and Bishop Fleming is another firm from the professional services sector. It offers Level 7 accountancy apprenticeship programmes for both school leavers and graduates that lead to the Chartered Accountancy qualification.
At number 39, Jaguar Land Rover employs 1,300 apprentices at its sites in the West Midlands and the northwest of England, with apprenticeships at levels 3, 4, 6 and 7 in engineering, digital technology, supply chain and finance.
Travis Perkins is at number 38. It's the largest distributor of building materials in the country and has over 700 apprentices working on programmes including retail, kitchen and bathroom design, sales, buying and merchandising and management.
At 37, Centrica supplies electricity and gas to customers in the UK and Ireland. Over the past year, more than 400 of its 17,500 employees have completed apprenticeships, including smart meter engineers, project managers, business analysts and customer service.
Yorkshire Ambulance Service is the top-rated NHS trust in this year's rankings at number 36. More than 500 of its 7,200 staff are apprentices, including ambulance support workers, associate practitioners and paramedic degree apprentices, as well as roles in support services like finance, operational support and learning and development.
We're off to the far southwest of England for number 35. Pendennis is a world-leading super yacht company based in Falmouth Docks in Cornwall. 1 in 8 of its employees are currently on apprenticeship programmes, and the company has trained more than 300 apprentices over the past 2 decades.
With more than 750 depots and 9,000 employees nationwide, Howdens supplies kitchens, joinery and hardware to almost 500,000 trade professionals. It's at number 34 in the rankings, having recruited more than 400 new apprentices in the past year.
London-based accountancy firm Moore Kingston Smith is at number 33. 1 in 5 of the firm's employees are school leavers or graduates on Level 4 or Level 7 accountancy apprenticeships.
Whitbread, the company behind the Premier Inn hotel chain, and restaurant brands like Beefeater and Brewers Fayre is at number 32. Its programmes include hospitality and kitchen apprenticeships at Level 2 and 3, and currently has over 1,600 apprentices across the business.
At number 31, Bupa is a multinational health insurance and healthcare company with over 43 million customers worldwide. In England, more than 1,000 of its 22,000 staff are on apprenticeships.
For number 30, let's head to the northeast again, and the highest ranking police force in this year's top 100. Northumbria Police is the 6th largest force in England, with over 3,500 officers and 2,000 staff, including more than 470 apprentices.
At 29, Mazars is our next professional services firm. A fifth of its 3,500 staff are apprentices, and its school leaver programme offers 4 or 5-year apprenticeships in audit, tax or accounting.
Staying with professional services, PKF Francis Clark is at number 28. It's a firm of accountants with almost 900 staff working across 9 offices in the south and southwest of England. The firm currently has 195 trainees on apprenticeship programmes at levels 3, 4 and 7.
Rentokil Initial is at number 27. It's a global company that provides pest control and hygiene services. In this country, 250 of its 2,700 employees are apprentices, with most on the Level 2 customer service apprenticeship.
At number 26, we return to the northeast of England again, this time for County Durham and Darlington Fire and Rescue Service. The service recruits over 20 Level 3 firefighter and fire safety apprentices each year based at fire stations across its region. So, there's our latest employers in the new Top 100.
That's our third countdown complete, and it means we've now announced 3/4 of the employers in this year's rankings. Shanice is with 2 apprentices who are working for employers featured in the latest part of the countdown. Shanice.
Yes, I am Martin, and I am really pleased to welcome Peter Elcott from Yorkshire Ambulance Service and Chris Laver from Jaguar Land Rover. Thank you so much for being here.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
I want to kick off, first of all, with you, Peter, if that's okay. I've heard a bit about your journey, but can you tell everybody else who's watching a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, so in 2016, when I decided I wasn't going to follow the path that I was going down within mental health and the fire service, I decided to apply for the ambulance service and become an emergency care assistant, which basically you're kind of you're a paramedics assistant, so you're assisting them through a daily your routines, and if you go to jobs, you're providing them the assistance they need when you're dealing with patients. And then a couple of years ago, it came out that there was input in the apprenticeship scheme, which known to ambulance staff is the Associate Ambulance Practitioner Scheme. And when you apply for that, you get put on a 10-week course, and it's the start of your apprenticeship internally within UAS. You get taught pretty good stuff in terms of getting you prepared for university, so to speak. And once you finish that 10 weeks, you then you get set out on the road working with a paramedic, learning their skills, assisting them, and they start to leave you to deal with jobs on your own, ensuring that you're safe. And once you've finished that, they sign you off, and then you qualify as an ambulance practitioner, which is the stage I'm at now. Mm-hmm. And then you apply for university, which is the end part of your apprenticeship. Mm-hmm. And once you've finished your 2 years, you then come out with hopefully a degree in paramedic science.
Wow, amazing. It sounds quite intense at the same time.
Yeah, it can be quite challenging, but I think if you enjoy it, it's rewarding. It's more rewarding than it is challenging for me anyway.
There's sometimes people kind of assume or think or even stereotype that to be an apprentice you have to have just come straight from school or from sixth form or be younger. And I just kind of wanted to, you mentioned about being on a different path earlier.
Yeah.
What has it been like, I guess, being a career changer and going on to an apprenticeship?
I think the career change itself was quite challenging in itself, going from, like I was saying before, I worked for the fire service, but I was always quite interested in, if we ever went to a road traffic collision, I was always interested in what happened to the patient afterwards. Mm-hmm. So I always, had a bit of an inkling that I wasn't in the job that I wanted to carry on with. Mm-hmm. So I didn't find it that challenging in the end to pick an emergency care assistant in the ambulance service. But I hadn't been in education since I left school, so that was 21 years ago. So it was quite, I don't know, it was
shift.
Big shift. And trying to get back into learning again a specific way, because now I know that university is, it's quite a different kind of writing techniques, and the academia side of it is quite challenging. But I think if you want to really get to where you want to be, I think it's doable. Mm-hmm. Well, I've done it. So.
And a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Chris, I just want to bring you in just to see, why did you actually want to do an apprenticeship?
So when I was finishing sixth form, I knew that I wanted to have a hybrid of work experience and academic knowledge. Mm-hmm. So doing a degree apprenticeship just seemed like the perfect route for me.
Mm-hmm. And what about work-life balance? I know, obviously, Peter mentioned it's a little bit hard sometimes, but for you as well, do you still get time to go out, socialise, party, study? How do you fit it all in?
So it is quite an intense programme. So 1 week in 5, I'm at university, which means that although the typical route is that students will have maybe 3 or 4 lectures per week, I'm still doing a 9 till 5 during the week. So once that's finished, I'm then doing university after work and on weekends. However, JLR thankfully provide a Friday uni day, so that's time dedicated towards my university studies, which allows me to then go out and socialise on the weekends because I've dedicated my time during the work week towards my academic studies.
Amazing. So they're providing a Friday study day, but what about a company car? Do you get any perks?
Well, depending on how well this interview goes, we'll see.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for talking to me. I also want to say a massive thank you to the Yorkshire Ambulance Service for letting, obviously, Peter come all the way down here and talk to us. It's really, really appreciated. So thank you for sharing your stories. It's time for a break now, and we will be back soon with more of the country's top apprenticeship employers.
Ucas has a range of powerful tools to help connect employers with potential apprentices. You can showcase your organisation to over 60 million ucas.com visitors each year with our employer profiles. Our Career Finder service enables you to advertise your apprenticeship vacancies alongside university courses on ucas.com. Ucas events give you the opportunity to engage face-to-face with the next generation of talent. Our data offers a unique insight into the aspirations of applicants and allows us to precisely identify the right candidates for your apprenticeship opportunities. Our multi-channel recruitment campaigns ensure that you can target your audience efficiently. With over 400,000 Ucas users interested in apprenticeships each year, you can easily engage with potential apprentices through our services.
So we chose to invest in the data science degree apprenticeship because we recognise that that's where the world is going, that's where industry has to go, and we need to see the benefit. We can't lose out on not having data scientists within our organisation.
University of Nottingham was our chosen provider because we wanted to work with them rather than just go along with the standard. We've really helped influence the changes that they've recently made, and we feel like our voices are heard.
We feel that we've got lots of information that we hold, but it's really about how we explore that and learn from that to really understand what our customers are saying, but also what our products and services are delivering for our customers.
The benefit of the apprenticeship for us is that the apprentices are allowed and able to bring back what they've learnt through knowledge, skills and behaviours directly into the workplace, and it also secures our succession and talent pipeline.
We invite you to spend the next 15 seconds considering how you can make work better for your apprentices. Ready? Got some ideas? Let's talk. Investors in people. Let's make work better.
And welcome back. This is the top 100 apprenticeship employers from the Department for Education, live from London. We heard earlier in the programme from the Secretary of State, Jillian Keegan, and Minister Robert Halpin, and I'm delighted that we can now speak to the Chair of the Institute for Apprenticeships and Technical Education.
Thanks very much, Shanice. Yes, I'm with Baroness Ruby McGregor-Smith. She's chair of the IF8. Now, the Institute's worked very hard since its inception to bring a really broad range of different apprenticeships and make them available through the standards. But are those apprenticeships actually keeping up with what employers are looking for and what they're demanding?
So since we started, we now have over 670 employer-led standards, and 140 alone were reviewed last year. In terms of us keeping up to date in such a changing world, particularly around digital, around the green agenda, around AI, we work more and more and more with employers to make sure that everything is really relevant. So we've just published our future-facing innovation strategy, and that works with a lot of innovators across different sectors to make sure we still stay relevant and up to date for employers. As an example, we're looking at one at the moment around hydrogen. You can imagine, as we look to decarbonise the UK, more and more apprenticeships will come out. The tunnelling one was approved earlier this year, which is fantastic. There are more and more around technology that I expect to see, and even within the world of construction, I see more and more digital and development work being done.
And of course, all of this takes a lot of time for employers, doesn't it? If they're going to develop the right apprenticeships for their needs, how are you supporting them through that? Because goodness me, the business world's busy enough without all these extra things to do.
It is really busy, and look, a huge thank you to, we have over 5,000 employers that support us, and I think that's incredible, but I want many more. I want everyone to be really thinking about this and really helping. And all the way through all these different organisations we work with, more and more people who are really passionate about this do support us. And I fully appreciate that they've got full-time roles as well. But I think the more they can do, the better the standards and the qualifications will be for the young people and the older people who are actually going through it.
Now, we should talk about the return on investment for apprenticeships. You're a former chief executive of a major PLC. You were an apprenticeship employer yourself. What difference does it make to the bottom line for employers?
It makes a huge difference. So across the training period of an apprentice, the average yearly gain is between 2,500 and 18,000, depending on the industry. And then when I take a look at why I employed apprentices, and I had over 1,000 within my old group, I really look at three main areas. One is very much around employee satisfaction and motivation. And on a recent survey we did of companies, 92% of employers said their apprentices were more motivated and excited by what they did. But then we go to 86% believed as well it gave them more relevant skills. And then I think another really important stat for me is around retention of individuals within your organisation, which really is very meaningful. And over 80% of employers we spoke to said it certainly helped improve their retention stats. You know, you're looking to really help support a young or older person to develop a new skill base that's very bespoke to what your organisation needs, and you want them to be with you for as long as possible. So I saw it across my whole career. I still see it on the boards I sit on. I've always been a massive advocate for everyone to do apprenticeships, and I'll continue to be that. But the financial evidence and the economic case is well established.
And at the end of the day, that is one of the biggest drivers, isn't it, for employers? Now, that probably brings us on to the apprenticeship levy. Every major employer being asked to pay a proportion of their payroll to fund apprenticeships. But how can those businesses make sure they actually get as much back as they can from those funds? Because not everybody's fully utilising their levy, are they?
No, look, I think with the apprentice levy, which has come in for a while, but it's still very much in its early years, I think employers have got more used to being able to use the levy for the training that has been developed. I think as well they can now use unspent levy funds with their supply chain. And then the other big area for us is around saying, look, to SMEs, and I know how hard it is for SMEs to take on apprentices, but I'm so encouraging of that because 95% of their training costs are covered in the UK. And therefore, if you can find a way to do that as an SME, that would be brilliant. But no, I also think over the coming years, more and more larger employers are going to say, look, we need to invest everything that we can in this and make sure that they can adapt to really do so. I urge everyone to employ more apprentices.
Fantastic. Well, that's a really positive note to finish on. Baroness Ruby McGregor-Smith, thank you very much for joining us on the launch of the Top 100 Apprenticeship Employers.
Thank you.
And now it's time to return to our countdown of the Top 100 Apprenticeship Employers. So where did we get to?
We return to the new rankings with a prime spot for Amazon at number 25. The online retailer, digital streaming and cloud computing company is one of the world's best-known brands and has 65,000 employees in this country, including more than 1,400 apprentices on 25 different programs.
Buzzacott, the accountancy firm, is at number 24. It's the largest single office firm in the UK with over 500 employees under one roof in St Paul's, London. A quarter of its staff are trainees on apprenticeship programmes at level 3, 4 and 7.
We continue with the accountancy sector because RSM is at number 23. It's the UK's 7th largest accounting firm with 26 offices in England. More than a quarter of the firm's staff are currently on apprenticeships, including 460 who began their apprenticeships in the past year.
We didn't see this one coming. Specsavers is at number 22. It's the largest opticians in the UK and Ireland with a network of over 900 stores and employs more than 600 apprentices in roles that include optical assistant, spectacle maker, hearing aid dispenser and customer services.
At 21, it's time to head back to the Northwest for this year's top-rated fire service. Merseyside Fire and Rescue offers around 100 apprenticeships each year in roles like community safety, professional standards, occupational health, motor vehicle maintenance and operational firefighter.
We've arrived at the top 20 and our next accounting and professional services firm, Price Bailey. The firm's school leaver programme includes apprenticeships at level 4 and level 7, and more than a quarter of the staff at its offices in London and East Anglia are now apprentices.
At number 19, Grant Thornton is our 15th accounting and professional services firm in the new top 100. A fifth of the firm's 4,800 employees are apprentices, and it offers school leaver programmes in audit, tax and business advisory at levels 4 and 7.
Green King, the pub company and brewer that runs over 2,700 pubs, restaurants and hotels across the UK, is at number 18. It employs more than 1,300 apprentices, providing a pathway from front of house and kitchen roles to supervisory and management positions.
We're back to professional services with BDO at number 17. 1 in 7 of its employees in England are apprentices, and the firm has recruited more than 600 in the past year for its 4-year level 7 apprenticeships that lead to a professional qualification in audit or tax.
Gloucester-based Clarkson Evans is at number 16. It's an electrical contractor that wires homes across England and Wales and is a long-established electrical training specialist. An impressive 2/5 of its 850 employees are apprentices, and the company recruited over 160 new Level 3 apprentices in the last year.
At number 15, Mitchells & Butlers operates over 1,500 pubs and restaurants, and more than 1,600 of its 40,000 strong workforce are apprentices on its bar and waiting, chef or management apprenticeship programmes.
BAE Systems is a British defence, security and aerospace company and is at number 14. With over 2,800 apprentices, it's the biggest apprenticeship employer in the top 100 so far and has 25 entry-level programmes in areas like engineering, project management, aircraft maintenance, finance and business.
At number 13, Busy Bees runs 379 nurseries across the UK and Ireland. More than 1 in 10 of its 9,000 employees are on apprenticeship programmes, from levels 2 to 5, including the level 3 Early Years Educator Apprenticeship.
But one place ahead, Tops Day Nurseries is this year's leading apprenticeship employer from the childcare sector at number 12. It looks after more than 3,000 children each week at its nurseries across the south and southwest of England, and more than 120 of its 790 employees are on apprenticeships.
And at number 11, Hayes Travel is the UK's largest independent travel agent and is the second highest ranking employer in this year's top 100 from the transport and travel sector. It offers over 250 apprenticeships annually in retail, travel consultant and head office roles. Let's remind ourselves of the employers from 25 to 11. So that's 15 more of the country's top apprenticeship employers. Well done to all of you.
And Martin's been back on his travels again to see one of the employers that we've just featured.
I'm in Bournemouth on the south coast of England. I'm here to see the new Chief Executive of Tops Nurseries, a local company that provides childcare for more than 3,000 children under the age of 5 each week. The business was started by Cheryl Hadland in the early 1990s.
Nursery chain was founded 30 years ago in Cheryl's own home, and it's now grown to 32 sites across the south between as far apart as Plymouth and Portsmouth. Apprentices are really central to the way that we see people's careers progressing at Tops. So we have apprentices at all ages and stages of their career, and we use it as a really great framework to support people in progressing.
My name's Kira and I'm a nursery assistant. I'm the go-to babysitter for all my parents' friends. I've been here for just over a year now.
Kira is one of more than 40 nursery assistants who started a level 2 childcare apprenticeship at Tops in the past year.
It was quite important to be going straight into the level 2 because while I babysat a lot, I didn't have professional childcare experience, so I wanted to go for something that I knew would give me a head start but wouldn't be too challenging. The written work is basic questions about safeguarding, how you handle allergies, accidents, everything like that. And then a couple of times a month, your coursework manager will come in and they'll observe you working in the room, give you feedback, show you how to handle specific situations and activities, things like that.
Kira is due to finish her apprenticeship later in the year and is already thinking about her next steps.
I can go on to level 3, at which point it's more of the room manager kind of level. And then further on, I believe it's a level 4 and a level 5. Opens so many more doors for a whole bunch of different responsibilities and options.
We here at Interview and Beyond that our apprenticeship offer is one of the key factors that make people want to come and work for Tops.
My name is Emma and I am level 3 apprentice at Leamington Tops.
The chance to do an apprenticeship was what persuaded Emma to join the company.
I like to learn on the job kind of person. I'm not really good at sitting in classrooms, so to be able to be in the environment and have the people support me if I need to as well, that was really important to me. Before I started, I didn't know much about what it was going to entail. All I knew is that by the end of it, I was going to have a level 3 qualification. Obviously, at the beginning of any job, you do feel a bit anxious, not quite sure, trying to find your feet. But I feel so comfortable in what I'm doing now, and it is going really well and I'm really enjoying it. So the highlights of the job are just every morning coming in and you get certain children coming up to you, screaming your name, just seeing the smiles on their face, and also when you help them achieve a goal and you can actually see the happiness on their face as well. That is the most rewarding part of the job.
For Sam, the on-the-job learning that apprenticeships provide is a crucial aspect of how Tops Nurseries trains and develops its staff.
We don't have to have someone who's done some classroom learning and then try and map that over into our operations and explain how we do things. So it's really efficient if you can find apprentices at a young level and induct them into exactly how you like things done. Super members of staff.
My name's Kelly and I am the Tops Christchurch manager.
As well as leading a team of 15 nursery staff, Kelly's doing a level 5 early years lead practitioner apprenticeship.
It's made up of different modules and it's more to do with the leadership and management side rather than the childcare. So it's a really, really good opportunity for me to learn on the job as a manager and to be able to study as well. I did join Tops because of the career progression. I work 40 hours a week, but I still manage to be able to do the course out of hours as well. So when I get spare time, either in the evenings or on the weekends, it's just something that I feel will better my career. About 70% of my staff are now apprentices. We've got a level 2 and we have 4 level 3 apprentices. So it's gone really well.
Well, I think we're quite a slick operation in terms of supporting people's apprenticeships now, and it's so core to our business. We regard it as a framework that's going to support people in their career development for their whole time with us.
My name's Charlie Henley Carter and I work as the Central and Customer Services Manager at Tops Nurseries.
Charlie is a working mum who joined the company 4 years ago as an executive assistant.
I've been doing my level 3 in business administration for the last 18 months. I had a lot of administration skills, but I didn't really have the knowledge or the understanding of behind those skills. So doing my level 3 really helped build that strong foundation in which I can further my career. It's certainly been an experience. I haven't really studied since I left university 10 years ago. But I really, really enjoyed it and I wanted to give my children that experience of seeing their mum continue her learning as well, because I think education is really, really important.
Tops Nurseries is continuing to grow and apprenticeships are a key part of the company's strategy.
Apprenticeships play an absolutely vital role in expanding our business. We know that those people are coming in, they know our standards, they know our culture. By the time they've finished an apprentice, they really are the finished piece for us. I'm absolutely delighted to hear that Tops has made the top 100 apprentice employers. I couldn't be prouder and I'm really looking forward to the future.
It makes me feel very proud to be working as a manager for a top 100 apprenticeship company. It fills me with pride to know that I am actually one of those apprentices and I am getting the opportunities to progress my career further.
I'm really proud to be working for a company that's reached the top 100 and I know they definitely deserve it.
Such a great story of how apprenticeships are helping to build careers in the childcare sector.
Now, earlier we introduced the small and medium-sized employers that are ranked between number 11 and number 50 in the new Top 50 SME Apprenticeship Employers for 2023.
So now it's time to meet this year's Top 10.
At number 10, it's Westcott's, the Southwest-based accounting and professional services firm.
Milton Keynes company Blue Cube Technology Solutions is at number 9.
For number 8, we head to Lytham St Anne's in the Northwest for Senior Moments Care.
At number 7, Adopstar is an advertising operations, media and marketing specialist in Columpton in Devon.
Ipswich-based recruitment company 7 Resourcing is at number 6.
So we're into the top 5 with Less Than Zero Barbers in Chesterfield and Sheffield at number 5.
At number 4, it's sport and fitness company Body Street.
And number 3, top SME apprenticeship employer is FD Works, the Bath and Bristol firm of accountants and business advisors.
This year's number 2 employer is PM&M Solutions for Business, an accounting firm in Blackburn.
But the number 1 spot in the top 50 SME apprenticeship employers for 2023 goes to Lee Marley Brickwork.
Well, many congratulations to Lee Marley for being named as this year's number 1 SME apprenticeship employer. I have 2 very excited people from the company with us. Christian Hatherall-Good is the company's apprenticeship manager and Dana Ackerell is a level 2 bricklaying apprentice. So you've just heard the news. Firstly, big congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We had double the number of entries for the top 50 this year compared to last year.
Yeah, this is exactly what it's all about. This is the ethos of the company. I was an apprentice. Lee, one of the part owners, was an apprentice, and some of our directors. And this is what we're really, this is just the icing on the cake. This is amazing.
Well, fantastic. Let's just start though by explaining what you do for those who haven't come.
So we are one of the largest, if not the largest, brickwork contractor in the UK. We're one of the largest scaffold contractors in London. And yeah, we do lots of projects around the UK. EastEnders Set, the Sky Pool, Embassy Gardens, rehabilitation centre at Loughborough. We did the brickwork on that. Some of the things that people may know. Yeah, we got scaffolding, brickwork, quantity surveying, project manager apprenticeships, and internal apprenticeships, management apprenticeships as well.
So there's lots of opportunities there. And by the way, I loved your initial reaction. I wish we got that on camera in the studio. All the clapping and the cheering. Dana, I just wanted to come to you quickly first because obviously apprentices are part of the key success in this company as well, right? Absolutely. So how do you feel about now working for the number 1 SME employer?
Well, firstly, thank you so much, guys. It's honestly such a privilege, firstly, to be here and, of course, to be a part of Lee Marley Brickwork. It's been incredible being a part of, the whole journey. My experience as an apprentice has been incredible, and just being here today is just...
Super excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
So tell us why you chose to do an apprenticeship and why with Lee Marley?
So I chose to do an apprenticeship because I first of all started off doing a university route. I did my GCSEs and A-levels and went on to do business management and marketing. But it was to mostly appease my parents, the traditional route. So after doing that, I knew I wasn't quite on the right path. It was time to course correct. And that's exactly what I did. I did some research, got to know myself most importantly, and by knowing myself, I knew I had to go for something which I knew that I would be strong at, something that correlated with my strengths, something which I was good at, and something that I would enjoy, something which would make a difference in society. And that's where I found Lee Marley, and to be fair, it's been great.
Do you know what I love about that as well? You said something I'm good at, something that I'm strong at. And I feel like sometimes, in the industry that you work in, it can be sometimes male dominated, but that just didn't put you off at all. You're just like, no, I'm going to do this, I'm going to apply, I'm going to get it, I'm strong, I'm good.
Oh, I absolutely love that, girl. Thank you so much. That's literally it. I knew I was going to be an excellent bricklayer, so I had to go for it. And obviously, right now it's it's unfamiliar territory for most women. It's largely untouched, but hopefully in the future, in the next 10 years to come, we can revolutionise the construction industry.
I think that's the good thing with Marley. If throughout the company, you know, we've got one of our directors is now, you know, female, right through quantity surveying, project management, but it's open to everyone. It's not an exclusive for any one of our trades or one of our roles in our company. You know, if it's right for you and you've got the drive and the passion and the willingness, we will adapt the training accordingly to make it happen.
And you are managing a huge number of apprentices. I mean, it looks like about a quarter of the business are current apprentices. It sounds like lots have stayed with you as well.
Yeah, so some of the original ones that I taught at college, where I taught for Lee Marley before becoming their training manager, they're now gone on and they're training to be, and some of them become supervisors, which then again, in another 5-10 years, they go on to potentially be project managers. So it's growing within, and that's the true company ethos, is, you know, moulding these apprentices, you know, to cover the skills gap, but also to future-proof the company going forward. And that's where Lee approached me at college, you know, 8 years ago. He could see the vision and the fact that he can see the benefit of him. He was an apprentice, and, you know, and what it leads to.
Yeah.
You know, and we're recently just about to set up our own academy for our own training as well. So this is just the perfect thing. It's just so exciting, and all the hard work that goes on. You know, this is what it's about.
And how difficult is it to recruit? I mean, you need you know, decent numbers each year to come through.
Actually, like I said, I was at a careers event this morning, and there's like a great interest. But obviously, our social media presence, you know, pitching it at the correct age group. But then the age group is, you know, 16. You know, we've got apprentices in their 30s, so it's, you know, it's open to them. But it's that social media route, our reputation on the back of coming third last year and now first this year. You know, the promotion we got of that and the uptake was amazing. You know, on average, we probably get 6 or 7 CVs a week get sent to us.
Well, it's a huge success story. Congratulations to both of you and to the whole company.
Yeah, and can I just say, it's a massive team effort, and like I said, it comes from Lee and the team at the top, but all the project managers and people that look after the apprentices as well, that help me as well. It's a joint effort all round.
It absolutely does make a world of a difference having a great team, and I think that's what Lee Marley embodies. So
well said.
Amazing, and it sounds like there's tons of opportunities as well.
That's exactly. I think that's one thing that I absolutely love is growth and development. They're supporting it, and that's what you want. You don't want to stagnate. You want to grow. So
yeah, for
it's that whole holistic support. You know, it's not just teaching them their trade. It's, you know, it's manners. It's, you know, cooking. It's their health and well-being. You know, putting suntan lotion on if they're working outside, keeping hydrated. It's all that. It's, you know, it's the whole wraparound support mechanism that we try.
Well, thank you guys so much for talking to us. Well done again to Lee Marley, this year's #1 employer from the top 50 SME Apprenticeship Employers. So we know our first #1. We'll find out who the other is after the break.
We, as a practice, have always struggled to retain our year-out staff. We therefore found the apprenticeship scheme works much better for us because it's an affordable, heavily funded solution. And through this, we've gone from going from 2 staff to 7 staff within the space of 3 years.
The main impact of Jillian coming on board is to build internal skills for long-term business development. We could have subcontracted the work out, but then at the end of the project, we've got no skills to move forward.
By working with a university that has the kind of accolades that the University of Nottingham has, that really helps a small employer to attract better talent to them.
The University of Nottingham have helped us set up the apprenticeship course, find students, helped us with the funding and offered great value during the course.
Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. You've been working, but you're flirting with the week.
Hi, my name's Liam. My role is the Early Careers Attraction Coordinator at Sky. One of the main problems we face when it comes to apprenticeship attraction is that it feels that there's not enough information around about apprenticeships. That's something that we wanted to tackle. Ucas were setting up a feature on their website so that you would see degrees and apprenticeships side by side while searching for opportunities, and it just sounded perfect for what we're trying to do.
My apprenticeship has genuinely been the best way to start my career. I've made so many new friends and I've learned so much both professionally and personally. I think Ucas having a one-stop shop for apprenticeships with links to where to apply and having all the information would be a really good idea, because when I was researching, I was going from website to website. I didn't really have a sort of centralised place.
I think it's great to have one place that you can just turn to for all your apprenticeship needs. I definitely recommend using their services. They're the go-to for any young person who's deciding their future.
Welcome back to the Top 100 Apprenticeship Employers. Now is the moment of truth, where we find out which employers are at the very top of this year's rankings.
We're into the new top 10 with motor company Nissan. From manufacturing in Sunderland, a sales and marketing centre in Hertfordshire, and research and development in Cranfield, Nissan has apprenticeship opportunities across the country, with roles in manufacturing, business administration, production quality support and engineering.
The Department for Work and Pensions is at number 9. It has more than 2,700 apprentices and provides apprenticeship programmes for new recruits and existing employees at every level from 2 to level 7.
At number 8, it's EY, the first of 3 Big 4 accounting and professional services firms in this year's top 10. EY has more than 2,000 apprentices with school leaver and graduate programmes in areas like assurance, tax, strategy and transactions, technology and consulting.
The Royal Air Force is at number 7. It's a significant apprenticeship employer with 4,400 apprentices and more than 20 different apprenticeship programmes, from air operations, logistics and engineering and technical to the RAF police and medical support.
Deloitte is the second highest ranking accounting and professional services firm in the new top 100, with 2,000 apprentices on its apprenticeship programmes at levels 4, 6 and 7, working in audit and assurance, consulting, cybersecurity and technology.
We've reached the top 5, and the Go Ahead Group is this year's top-rated apprenticeship employer in the transport sector. It operates buses in London and many of the English regions, as well as the Govia Thameslink Railway, and has over 1,300 apprentices working in roles like drivers, engineering technicians and customer services.
At number 4, PwC is confirmed as the highest ranking apprenticeship employer from the accounting and professional services sector, with 1,600 apprentices and innovative entry-level programmes in audit, consulting, deals, operations and tax, plus digital and technology degree apprenticeships.
Into the top 3 and the second of the armed forces to be ranked in this year's top 10. Congratulations to the Royal Navy. It has over 6,000 apprentices and offers more than 20 different apprenticeship programmes. New recruits joining the Royal Navy as ratings are automatically enrolled onto Level 2 apprenticeships, and an accelerated scheme is available for engineering apprentices.
So we have just 2 employers remaining. At number 2 is one of the best known names in telecoms and technology, and a very substantial apprenticeship employer. BT employs over 3,500 apprentices across the company, with programmes such as customer service, project management, software engineering and maintenance and operations.
Which means we've arrived at the top of this year's rankings. The number 1 employer in the top 100 apprenticeship employers for 2023, with an incredible 14,000 apprentices, is the British Army. Many congratulations to them for their huge commitment to employing apprentices and for providing so many apprenticeship opportunities right across the British Army.
So we've done it. We've counted down the whole of the country's top apprenticeship employers for 2023. And Martin is with the #1 employer, the British Army.
Thanks very much, Shanice. Colonel Craig Terblanche, many congratulations. The British Army, #1 for the 3rd time in the top 100 apprenticeship employers. I mean, the stats are incredible. Over 14,000 apprentices across the Army. I think 4,500 new starts just in the last 12 months. Clearly, apprenticeships are really embedded in everything you do. Just give us a flavour of what it all involves.
Martin, firstly, we're absolutely delighted to receive this reward again. We are genuinely excited and somewhat relieved to be #1 again. Apprenticeships are absolutely central to everything the British Army does. It's embedded in our history. This year will be the 100th year that we've had apprentices in the Army. In 1919, realising that we needed to evolve from a horse-drawn army into a mechanised army, we established our first apprentice colleges, and today the modern apprenticeships are going to take us into the 21st century and helping us to move from a mechanised army into the digitalised age. So it's embedded in absolutely everything we do. 95% of all the soldiers that join will be put on an apprenticeship, and it's part of the offer that we make to the people who join, that in return for the sacrifices they make, they have the opportunity to leave better than they joined. So we're absolutely delighted and excited, and it's just fantastic news.
So it's very much baked into the system, but how much of an appeal is it that those joining you can do an apprenticeship? I mean, you talked about the idea of giving them skills that they perhaps leave with in the future, but at the point of recruiting, does it make a big difference?
Yes, absolutely. I think, it's important to realise that the British Army still attracts people who perhaps didn't do very well at school, let's say that, for a whole variety of reasons. And this is a real opportunity for them to have a restart, a regain, a refresh in their lives. So quite often they join aged 18 with very few official or formal educational sort of qualifications. And within a few short years, they've got their level 2 literacy and numeracy, their GCSE equivalents. They've got a level 2 or level 3 apprenticeship. And in their mid-20s, they are set for life. And so it's really important for them, but also very important for their parents and the various gatekeepers who encourage people to join the Army to seize the personal development opportunities which we have to offer. And I think it's really important to realise that it is absolutely fundamental to everything that we do. Apprenticeships are deeply embedded. It is what attracts people, what keeps people, and ultimately allows them to leave well, and so they can reintegrate and make great successes of their lives back in the civilian sector, and thereby adding to the British economy and adding to our national prosperity. So it's a win-win-win situation.
And that idea of progression, somebody joins you starting on a level 2, are they able to move through and build up their apprenticeship experience?
Yes, absolutely. So we've got a whole life sort of development pathway. We have 43 apprenticeship sort of offers across all our various cap badges and corps, and there is progression built into the system all the way up to a chartered management degree apprenticeship at level 6 for our senior soldiers. So yes, absolute progression. People can genuinely arrive with nothing at all and leave with the most wonderful qualifications, which sets them up for life.
And I need to ask about recruitment. Yep. It's been a challenge, hasn't it, for the armed forces for some time. How are things going at the moment?
Everybody's struggling to recruit talented people, and we need to ensure in the Army that we can offer something which other people can't. And the apprenticeships are part of that offer. The prestige and the status of being in the British Army. We're still a Premier League Army. We are the best. Our motto is be the best. And so, we offer not only just apprenticeships, but we offer people the opportunity to be part of a team bigger than themselves, to acquire really good life skills. And so, yes, recruiting is challenging, but I'm absolutely confident that having maintained our position on the top of the leaderboard is certainly going to help.
Well, it's another fantastic result. I was looking at the numbers. I think about 1 in 5 currently in the Army on an apprenticeship, progressing as you've described. So it's an inspirational story, and great that you've been able to join us today to tell it in person. So, Colonel, thank you very much for being part of the programme. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Wow, what an exciting afternoon it's been, and well done to the British Army for attaining the top spot in the new rankings. 14,000 is an amazing number of apprentices for one organisation to provide.
Well, we're almost at the end of the programme, but there's just time for a few more of your messages. Shanice?
A few more messages that have been making me smile, Martin. OK, so thank you obviously so much for sending them through. We've got Reet watching from Bristol. A thoroughly enjoyable and informative watch. OK, that's positive. That's good. XC Training Company are proud to say that we are in the top 50 SME Apprenticeship Employer. Yes, excellent. Well done to you. Sheffield Ford Masters, are excited to have been named in the top 100 Apprenticeship Employers of 2023.
Lovely to meet you all.
Top Days Nursery, obviously we saw a video from them as well. They said they were eagerly following the top 100 apprenticeship results to see if they've made it. So they had all their fingers crossed. And one final message we have from Ad Construction Group are proud to say that they are also in the top 50 SME Apprenticeship Employers. So have we got time for a last one, Martin? I think we do before we say goodbye. OK, cool. So Charlotte Bowers from XC Training has been in touch to say that she's so proud to be their first degree apprentice on the Chartered Management course. So she said that they work so hard and she's so proud to have been able to achieve top 50. So thank you so much for tuning in, first of all, but thank you also for your comments. They did make us smile going through.
Right. Before we go, though, we'd like to say a big thank you to Investors in People, to Ucas and the University of Nottingham for their support for the launch of this year's rankings. Many congratulations to all of the employers that have been ranked in the top 100 Apprenticeship Employers and the top 50 SME Apprenticeship Employers for 2023.
There'll be a full list of the new rankings available to download from the Top 100 website later today. And if you registered to watch today's broadcast, you'll receive a copy of the list by email.
And remember, if your organisation didn't make it into this year's rankings, the formula for success is a simple one. The more apprenticeship starts you create, the more diverse your new apprentices are, and the more apprentices who successfully achieve their apprenticeships, the higher your top 100 score will be.
So there's just time to remind you that applications for the National Apprenticeship Awards close at 5 p.m. tomorrow. So if you've not got your application in yet, there's still time for you to do so. The results will be announced at the regional finals in the autumn and at the national finals in November.
And of course, we'll be back next year with the top 100 Apprenticeship Employers. All that remains for us to do is to thank you for watching today. We hope you've enjoyed the programme.
So from me, Shanice Evans.
And from me, Martin Birchall. Until next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Here at Ucas, we are absolutely passionate about supporting the nearly 1.5 million people who come to explore options with us each and every year. As an independent charity, it's absolutely paramount that we bring parity to apprenticeships alongside traditional routes. We know around half of those 1.5 million are interested in apprenticeships, so it's really important they get engaging, meaningful content around those. That's why we're really excited about the collaboration with the Department for Education and bringing that parity over the coming months. We know we can absolutely help you as employers recruit and retain the very best talent. Look for those skills and experience that you really most need now and in future years. We look forward to working with you in the years ahead.
The University of Nottingham's degree apprenticeship programmes offer vocationally focused academic study at bachelor's and master's level through flexible learning.
The degree apprenticeship provides apprentices the opportunity to develop their technical skills at the same time as expanding their technical knowledge.
By partnering with an institution celebrated for its academic excellence, pioneering research, employability and world-class campuses and facilities, your business will be able to attract, retain and develop top talent.
We see degree apprenticeships as forming a fundamental part of our recruitment strategy. I think we're able to build loyalty and that works both ways in terms of what we provide to individuals and also what they provide to our business.